KREM 2 News at Noon begins now.
Right now at the KREM 2 News at Noon, tomorrow is a weather impact alert day for the threat of high winds and blowing dust. We'll have the latest on the storm track of this upcoming windstorm.
And researchers are seeing wildfire smoke impacting Idaho potatoes. Our Environment Northwest team taking a look at this new study. Plus, KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones checking in on regional construction projects. This, of course, as the weather begins to turn. Hi, everyone. It is so good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin with this breaking news. Nuclear waste from the Hanford Nuclear Reservation will be transported through Spokane sometime next year. The U.S. Department of Energy didn't give us a specific time or a specific route. The Washington State of Ecology Department has notified Spokane's Mayor Lisa Brown of the move. The Department of Energy says the chance of any kind of spill is what they consider extremely low. We are certainly digging into that story, and we'll have more later on tonight, and of course on KREM.com. In the meantime, let's talk weather with Thomas Patrick. It is definitely starting to feel a little more like fall in the early morning hours, Thomas.
Yeah, it has been once again cold with temperatures in the 30s and 20s. But my entire focus, to be honest, has been on tomorrow's weather because we are in for another quite windy day ahead of us. This is kind of borderline windstorm level of intensity. And within the last 2 hours, we just had a batch of wind advisories and blowing dust advisories issued throughout a good portion of the inland Northwest. Blowing dust advisories include Spokane and all of central Washington out towards Moses Lake. Wind advisories for the Palouse and the Lewiston area, that is where the winds will be strongest tomorrow, specifically up to 50 miles per hour for Whitman County and towards Asotin County. So Pullman to Lewiston likely going to get the worst of the winds for this Friday. So again, today calm. Tomorrow's going to be rather messy, though. Our next storm system is intensifying quickly this afternoon. However, as it lands on shore in British Columbia, it will start to weaken. So it won't be a maximum strength style of windstorm, but we will get a pretty mild or moderate amount of its effects, including the wind, as you heard of, and the possibility for dust storms as well. We'll go into more detail over the timeline of when those winds will be strongest in just a few minutes. But for today, yes, it was quite cold to start the day, but we're in for a very pleasant afternoon. Highs in the mid to upper 60s, sunny skies, and very calm winds today. But as you heard, that changes in a huge way tomorrow. So we'll cover everything of tomorrow's storm in great detail coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, appreciate it, Thomas. It has certainly been a busy construction season, but with the weather shifting, we could see the last few projects begin to wrap up. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones spoke with the city about the timeline and how much longer we can expect to have to take a detour or two.
Well, you won't have to deal with those detours too much longer. We actually spoke with city officials, and they told us over the course of these past few months, they've worked on more than 40 different road projects. So that includes multiple type of projects like street improvement, paving, maintenance, pedestrian improvements, and major projects like the one we've seen at Cheney Spokane Road, which ultimately require crews to go underneath the road and improve utilities in that area. But listen to this, just within the city limits of Spokane, there's 2,200 lane miles that the city has to maintain.
So that takes time, and it has to be done over a period of time. There's no way we can get it all done at one time. And this year has been challenging. We've had some very challenging detours, and we understand that, but especially in Northeast Spokane, where you had, Bigelow Gulch with the county being done, the North Spokane corridor being done with WashDOT, and then we needed to do some work to tie into those projects as well.
There is light at the end of the tunnel, though. City officials say the last major projects for their season with the most impact, something that we're standing in front of right now, the Washington-Stevens corridor.
But while we're doing that, we wanted to make sure we're looking at the full corridor so that we're not interrupting that corridor again next year or the year after. So we anticipate that that'll be fully functional here in the next month at the end of construction season.
So we're looking at just a few more weeks of construction season, end of October, beginning of early November. Those are the dates that you have to keep in mind, and when we can officially start to see most of these crews wrap up their season. But for now, reporting here in downtown Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
All right, Brendan, thank you. The Seahawks are off to an exciting start this season, and KREM 2 is the spot to watch their next game. The Hawks facing off against the New York Giants. That's coming up on Sunday. You can tune into KREM 2 at 1:25 for all the action. And this coming up, an afraid woman hospitalized after being attacked by 6 dogs. How the woman is doing, coming up after a very quick break.